All right, well overdue for another little video tour. So let's take you in. First thing to notice is I did get a lot of this wall in over the summer. That section didn't quite get finished, but we'll chip away at it. I've still got another pile of rocks over there that I can bring in. This is our first serious snowfall. We got our Christmas lights up and all that. That's good. You can see the solar hot water isn't going to do much for me today. But yeah. So one of those robotic bird feeders that feeds them on a timer, which I very much enjoy watching the birdies. This is usually my office, but we're redoing that at the moment, so we'll show you that. Scaffolding, because we're still working on these bars up at the top. I really want to break up that view and then we'll grow things on them, but that project got a little bit interrupted. So welcome in. So this is a real life setup. In the living room, we have birds, we have a student. We're not running the fire or the heat yet. You can see the nice view of the trees. Let's actually look at the thermostat. So the heating is off. 66 is the temperature in the room. That's fine. So anyway, yeah, it hasn't been a problem yet this year. Well, I'm sure we'll turn it on eventually. Right now it's just the end of November. Some birds. We don't want to let it get too cold or the birdies might not like it. A little bit of a Christmas thing going. Playroom hasn't changed too much since before, so we'll leave that alone. Mother-in-law's suite. Kitchen, again, real life. There's no backsplashes or anything on there yet, but we're working on it. Just a few days ago we put in this. Haven't grouted it yet, but we'll finish that up soon. Creativity happening. And an office will work on this. We've gotten 1 day's work in here so far. 1 afternoon, I should say. But a few more days this week and we'll sort this out. Pretty echoey now. I walk in here. When I had furniture in here, I've been using it for over a year and it was not echoey before. But I have a nice view. I sit right here with my desk and I can watch the deer and the turkeys and all that go across our lawn. And all the little birds that come to the feeder. And they hop and they play around on these stones. Alright, we'll get back to that later. Take a look out the back door. Little garden that we built to keep the deer out. So we grew lots of vegetables there this summer. Let's get the drone up. Okay, starting with the long view toward the north-northeast of our whole lot. And now we're dropping down and we're looking at the south side of the house. I took a lot of time to puzzle in that stone on that retaining wall in the front there. The even snow cover on the roof is a pretty good sign that heat isn't leaking out, so that's good to see. We also got in curved black gutters on the shingled roof sections, but it's pretty hard to see in this view. Alright, panning across the south side now, and you can see that scaffold and those curved gray steel bars. Originally that was supposed to be a concrete arch across the front of the house. The steel beams in the wall that you can't see, of course they're in the wall, were engineered to hold the earth load on that front of the house, just to break up that wall. I didn't want that big tall wall section. But we decided enough was enough. But even the steel Pergola-Trellis-Thingy has also been pretty tricky to double curve just right so that all those bars are parallel. We plan to paint it black and then we'll grow creepers on it and that'll give us shade in the summer. I'll also put big 4-foot long planters on the top of those radial beams so that the earth can spill down from those valleys and we can finally manage the water runoff properly. You can see it's leaking a bit there, but that'll all go into the buckets and then that'll get drained away properly. I'll get back to that on the next warm day. Yeah, panning back toward the west, and you can see those solar tubes are 90% covered in snow. I should clean them off, but I don't really have time on this short lunch break, and I'm recording a video instead. Alright, coming around now to the north side of the house. You can see that Decagon garden that I built this summer. We grew lots of stuff there, way more than we could eat. Eventually we want to put in a nice patio, and we also have some practical plans for that dead space on the north side of the garage there. Turning the camera towards the woods now. We have 4 acres of grass, 4 acres of trees, and 1 acre of pond, so that's mostly what's up there. Vultures moved into that treehouse, the kids' treehouse, when the neighbor's old barn collapsed last spring. That was pretty cool. Yeah, you can see that the ponds are growing over a little bit more than I would like. Okay, rotating toward the north. Someone bought that lot this past summer. They cleared a few areas, but we haven't really met them yet. I don't know when they plan to build. Rotating a bit more, that guy cleared that lot, and he's planning on building in 2025. Here's a view from high above. The house blends in pretty well from this angle. Most of the heat loss is through those skylights. The skylights are always a trade-off. I nearly put in fence rails across that north side this year, but the materials cost has jumped so high that I decided to hold off. You can't really tell, but it's pretty windy and the drone's getting blown around and knocked around. Here's the better view of those solar tubes. You can see they're mostly covered. And again, not much melt on top of the roof there, so that's all a good sign that the insulation is nice and even. Alright, let's go back inside. So I went out to grab some wood because it is very cold this week. It's 26 Fahrenheit outside right now, but it was much colder last night, so I thought I'll grab some wood today. And then, since filming that last little clip, the sun came out. So let me show you what the sunlight does. And it's had a couple hours to warm up this room. But even without a huge amount of direct, the shears are in and stuff, you can see the temperature in here is 75 now. And because of all the concrete, that will stay for hours and hours. It'll still be in the 70s at midnight. Because all the floor and the walls and the roof and all that's concrete. So we'll get some nice sunshine. On sunny days, we definitely don't need any heat in this house. Alright, let's check out the mechanical room, just because it's one of my favorite things in the house. So these are the flow rates, the temperatures coming in from the 2 probes. There's a probe in there, there's a probe in here. This one's usually at 57 actually, or 50, it's usually 2 degrees different from this one. This is the first time I've seen it get so low. I guess it's been 26 to 28 degrees Fahrenheit outside for a few days, so I guess it's finally getting to this thing. So that's interesting. I haven't seen it that low. Let's check the flow. You see it coming nice and quick. With these fans, they're very economical fans, 40 watts or something like that. And going out to the bedrooms, the temperature is 63, but by the time it goes through the floor and all that stuff, it gets up to 70 something, no problem. Alright, oh yeah, let's try unplugging this, and I'll give it a minute to slow down and stop, because I want to show you that even without the fans being powered, the tubes themselves are naturally bringing air in through the Bernoulli effect as wind blows over the hill. So I think we've had enough time for this to stop. And this is just a natural flow at this particular moment. So all day, every day, and if I can catch the current just right on this silly thing, not the best device, but you get the idea. So that's the air coming in for free, even little spots like this little spot here, where the hole is, got a little bit of tape there, if I get the thing in the right spot. So just a little tiny rip like that. I've got 8 of these tubes, and so the air just freewheeling in from 250 feet away. So I like that effect. That makes these fans more efficient because the fan isn't fighting against back pressure, it's just helping the air along. Gotta get this at the right position to catch that air just right. But you get the idea. These boxes, I like the design initially, but they have a few problems with them. So because this is flat at the top, moisture can hang from it if we get lots of humid air in the summertime. So I'm gonna have to redesign these, and I'll also design them so that they go in there and for easier cleaning on the outside, because the inside here has got a little dirty. It's even showing up on the camera, but I want to be able to clean those better. So it needs a little bit of change. This yellowness here is because the particular caulk I used turned yellow. That's not ideal, but I think we'll tear those out this winter and redesign those with different shapes that aren't gonna suspend water. There's no water in here now because it's not a problem except in the most humid months of summer, but I want to fix it before next summer. Okay, what else can I show you? Alright, the heating system is turned on. This indicates that the heating system's on. There's other things in here too, networking and stuff, but the heating system is on, but none of the pumps are on because the thermostats in the various rooms are warm enough that they're just not turning on. So yeah, when they do turn on, this one here is the one that usually turns on. It's the mother-in-law's suite, and it's usually like 20-some watts for the pump, and it sucks the heat out of the solar hot water tank and spreads it around the house. Checking out the tank right now, the temperature outside is 6. It was 7 just a moment ago, but it's just flicking around, 6 or 7 degrees, and that's just inside the manifold. And you saw outside that the manifold is mostly covered in snow, so that's why it's not getting too hot. I should go up and clean it. This is still warmer than the temperature outside. Outside temp is well below freezing. This is in Celsius, so outside it's like 26 or 28 Fahrenheit right now. I think it was 26 when I looked. I'll put the calculation here, and oh, it's starting to drop. That's interesting. It was 7 when I first looked in here. Let's cycle through though. So T3 is the tank temperature. You can see it flashing there, and that's 39 Celsius, of course. So we're still able to use that and get lots of warm heat off that, even though it's been all covered in snow for a while. And this is the temperature in this room. The temperature in the pump itself is 20 Celsius. So there you go. All right, let's go show you the basement room next. That's the next project we worked on. And this is the basement room. We finished this up because we needed a guest room again. You can see we worked on putting in a ceiling and window trim, and molding prices are so expensive now. I just use regular boards for this sort of thing now. Pretty basic. And yeah, that back corner we stuccoed as much as we needed, and then we stopped. And actually now Menards isn't selling stucco anymore, so we'll have to figure that out. But you can see how rough it used to be. You know, it's this really rough, really badly done shotcrete job, and we start filling in like this, and then we layer up, but we ran out of stucco. Because I'm doing my office right now, working down here, and kids do their workout or, you know, practice bass or whatever. You can't really hear it very well upstairs, so that's good. And the hardest part about this whole thing, there's the window well out there, you can see the snow. The hardest part about this job was the bathroom. So it's going to be a little awkwardly to fit myself in here to show it to you. But mirror, there's flooring on the ceiling. I wouldn't recommend doing that. It didn't work out so easy. Tile floors, nice cabinet thing. I like this one. It's pretty good. And yeah, so of course we have to get that all plumbed in. I did some fancy stuff, like I made this mirror adjustable so you can see the back of yourself if you're looking in that mirror there. And then toilet side of things. Exhaust fan that leads to outside. And a shower with all the safety rails and things like that. I just went with the rectangular pan this time, no fancy zero entry. That was good enough for down here in the basement. Alright, so there's some progress in there. I just want to show you the mechanism for this mirror. So I bought a mirror that should be flat, to the, like, put on a box, but the hinge system was opening outside, so I couldn't put it flat in the wall, but I wanted it to be able to swing open like this. So I had to kind of make my own little double hinge thing here. So I just bought a piano hinge. I welded it to the hinge that came with the unit and then welded on the inside, so that now I have this double hinge that can handle this sort of angular motion, and I can close in. Oops, I can't show it to you with one hand, but it goes nice and flush like that, even though it's the original one that I bought wasn't designed to do that. So anyway, it's kind of my favorite part.